Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over a new series that came out last year featuring Jane Foster in a new role and direction for her character. We'll talk a little bit about the story behind her new identity as the Valkyrie. Then at the end of this video, Jane Foster goes up against a totally unexpected villain. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more comic book recaps, reviews, and more. Her name is Jane Foster. She's a doctor, a cancer survivor, and for a while was even Thor. Her life was full of feeling and wonder. But then a war was called and she answered. Now she is Jane Foster, last of the Valkyries. For those wondering, Jane Foster is a longtime friend and occasional love interest to Thor, and as many of you must know by now, was Thor herself for a long time after being given the hammer in the comics. Last year, in an event called War of the Realms, Jane Foster was called upon to serve as the Thor of another universe, and she became something called the War Thor. As part of the War of the Realms, instigated by the Dark Elf Malekith, his army slaughtered the Valkyries, warrior goddesses that once ushered dead Asgardian warriors into the realm of Valhalla, and many of you might know from the film Thor Ragnarok. At the end of the War of the Realms, Jane Foster's hammer was destroyed and reformed into a new artifact called Underyarn, the All-Weapon, which apparently contains the power of death, life, and everything in between. Jane becomes the sole remaining Valkyrie, but did not become the same type of being they were, and rather something new entirely. To explore this new change in direction for her character, Jane Foster has once again been given her own solo series, this time called Jane Foster Valkyrie. And today we're going to go over the first issue of that series. Our story begins with the new Valkyrie face to face with a villain named the Blue Streak, and a group he leads called the Fast Five, a powerful team of sports-themed criminals that are using a mix of Dark Elf and Asgardian weapons left behind from the War of the Realms. In just 2 blows, Jane downs the Blue Streak, and another called the Green Light. A third, called the Silver Ghost, turns invisible, but Jane discovers she can still see the villain running away. She doesn't understand all her powers in her new form, but appears to have some sort of enhanced vision. The All-Weapon easily takes the ghost down, turning into a bolo, tripping the villain and knocking him unconscious. The fourth member of the Fast Five, Gold Rush, approaches Jane wielding Dragon Fang, former sword of the previous main Valkyrie, Brunhilde. It is a deadly weapon in competent hands, but the crook simply flees from her presence, while the final member, Redline, attacks. It is no challenge for Jane to take out this last member, but Gold Rush manages to slip away down an alley. In the darkness, this man is tripped, and a shadowy figure seizes Dragon Fang and uses it to expertly kill Gold Rush. The other 4 are arrested, while the final villain's body is left unfound. Jane debriefs with her friend Lisa, who works at Damage Control. I had to look this character up because I didn't recognize her, but this is Lisa Halloran, someone who Jane Foster gets along with well because they are both medical professionals who have dated superheroes. Lisa dated Miss America, and Jane openly appreciates how much the woman can understand her in a way few others do. Jane rushes off after this for a performance review at the McCarthy Medical Institute with her boss, Dr. Regina Hagen. Regina likes Jane and they normally get along, but Jane's been missing her own chemotherapy appointments, and Dr. Hagen is reasonably upset. Jane insists she is fine and in remission, but just the same, the woman is transferred out of the oncology department and made an assistant at the hospital's morgue, where she now works for a man named Rudy Gillespie. Jane gets a sense of irony to all of this, but can't quite explicitly make the connection. It is at the morgue that Jane discovers Gold Rush's body, and the sword wounds paint an obvious picture. As a member of the Valkyrie, Jane is able to transport herself to the Asgardian Halls of the Dead. The All-Weapon and her role as the last surviving Valkyrie allows Jane to enter, and she is taken to Valhalla, where Jane meets with Brunhilde, once the greatest of the Valkyries. The dead woman is informed of events on Earth and tells Jane that she senses the Dragon Fang has fallen into evil hands. Sadly, Brunhilde can't tell Foster where the sword is now, but warns the weapon can also summon her flying horse. Jane promises to make all of this right. and Brunhilde makes some cryptic remarks, implying that Valkyrie is more of a job and responsibility than anything that Jane experienced while being Thor. The soul of Brunhilde tells Jane to seek out a woman named Annabelle Riggs, who will understand Jane's situation. But for now, Jane decides to focus on finding Dragonfang and seeks out help from elsewhere. Heimdall, god of seeing, is an obvious choice for seeking out a hidden thing. Though his eyes are still healing after he was blinded by the fearsome creature known as Mangog, Heimdall is able to help Jane by letting her tap into her vision powers the woman discovered earlier. Jane realizes this new vision lets her see people's fates and how close they are to death, and is alarmed to see Heimdall is moments away from passing. She tries to warn him and get the two to flee, but it is too late. Dragonfang is here, and the thief is ready. But so is she.